Hello there everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Clarissa. I put out new tarot readings, pick a card readings once a week. And this week, as you can tell by the title of this video, this has to do with messages from your spirit guides. This week's reading is going to be a little bit different in terms of that because I'm really looking for like uplifting messages for you guys. I don't know about you, I always tend to get like post-holiday blues, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because like the celebration is over. I don't know if it's because it's January now, and January is like the most difficult month of the year for me. I know it's the case for a lot of people that January is just a hard month. Not everybody though. Some people really thrive at the beginning of the year. For me, for whatever reason, it's just one of those times where I get to be very introspective and I just kind of feel down sometimes. And if you're feeling the same way, I wanted to make this video for you in particular so that you can get messages from spirit right now that will resonate with you, that will kind of help you feel seen and heard and understood, and that will uplift you and help you feel a little bit more positive and, I don't know, upbeat, because I think that, again, it's just kind of a low point of the year for me anyway, personally. So anyway, I have 3 different books here. I've used these before on the channel for book divination, and that's essentially what we're doing today as well, except for on top of the books here to choose from, I also have already gone through and gotten your passages from spirit for your reading in particular, and so I'm gonna go through those. I've like just doggy earmarked the pages. I don't know what the right term is, but I've just like marked the pages that they're on, and I'm gonna read those to you so that you can kind of look at the imagery of the book, the title, as well as like your book divination message for each individual pile, and then kind of make a decision from there as to like what you're the most drawn to. Now, I don't think it would be wrong for you to listen to more than one group. If you're drawn to more than one of the groups today, you can even listen to all 3 of the readings if you would like. But you know, it's just kind of up to you. Like whatever you feel called to do, you do that, but there's no right or wrong here. So if you just feel called to one, listen to one. If you'd like to listen to the entire video, feel free to do that as well. I would like to make a little disclaimer here before I get into it. I may be pausing the video frequently, just kind of depends on how things go. My brother-in-law recently just moved in with us he's going to be with us for probably a couple months, and he has a dog, and his sweet dog is like he has a lot of separation anxiety. So like I have the door cracked and he like gets startled very easily. So he may end up like barking in the background. I will pause the video and like calm him down and then come back to the reading if needed. But my animals will hopefully be okay. My cat's like curled up and asleep right now. I think both of the dogs are out there sleeping right now. So hopefully nothing crazy happens and that's the way that it remains. But I just wanted to let you guys know. So let's go ahead and look at each individual group's divinated or book divination like reading first, and then you can decide which one you're the most drawn to. So for group number 1, we have the Euphoria book, and these are all by F.S. Yusuf. I've said this before, my husband is an English teacher and has all sorts of like poetry books. I just really like these 3, so I tend to gravitate towards them and choose them the most often. So anyway, for group number 1, we have the Euphoria book. Very beautiful blue clouds, you know, just looks very serene, almost like how you would imagine heaven looking, right? If you believe in heaven. And then for you guys, we got Forged. I was carefully crafted from both of your structures, all the flaws and pieces of good built within me. And this is page 82 of this book. I'm actually going to keep it marked just in case I need to reference it again for y'all. But that is for group number 1. And then for group number 2, we have the Sincerely book by F.S. Yusuf. And your guys's reading is called Jana. We promised each other forever, and I find myself praying for that vow to be fulfilled under a celestial date tree, which stretches farther than our eyes can see, and by rivers freely flowing with milk and honey. I pray our love is heavenly enough to be suited for the hereafter. Very beautiful. And then, oh, did I keep that one marked? Dang it. Again, I just wanted to have it just in case I have to refer back to it at any point. So again, that's for group number 2. And then for group number 3, we have the Serenity book by F.S. Yusuf. And your passage is full of life. I will choose my own road, one which does not carry your remnants, one where your ashes have not touched. This is my own journey, my story, and I intend to make it memorable. And that's page 84. I got a lot of 80s, I think. So that was 84 for group 3. And then I don't think I told you guys what yours was. 86. So all of them are in the 80s, which is kind of funny. But anyway, so we have group number 1, 2, and 3. So you can decide just off of the imagery of the book if you're drawn to that. You can decide off of the poem that was read. Or, you know, you may be drawn to more than one. That's totally fine. But if you need to right now, please take a moment, pause the video so that you can intuitively decide what you're the most drawn to. And then once you have done that, you can go to the description box down below, and there will be timestamps for each individual group's reading. So then you can select from there. Anyway, I really am looking forward to these readings, guys, and I really, really hope that they resonate for you. And I will see you guys shortly in your reading. Hi there, my group number 1s. As a reminder, if you chose the Euphoria book by F.S. Yusuf, then this is your reading this week in regard to uplifting messages that Spirit has for you. I'm going to go ahead and read your passage one more time just as a reminder. So again, you picked Forged. I was carefully crafted from both of your structures, all the flaws and pieces of good built within me. So we're going to go ahead and get into your tarot cards. First, I'm going to address this again because, as you probably know if you've been watching my channel for a while, I do go ahead and lay out your tarot cards first, type up a little synopsis just to keep myself on track, and then we go from there. And then after we're done with your tarot cards here, I do have some oracle cards off to the side, 3 different decks that we'll go ahead and get some additional information from. Any additional messages Spirit has for you, any clarification, anything along those lines, we will touch on that after we get through your tarot. So, I just really want to start off saying that your pile laying out your cards made me cry. I don't know if it's because this message is something I needed to hear as well or what, but I feel like overall, Spirit is saying not to let the world dim your light. I get this feeling that you're a very generous person, like a very generous group, obviously, my group number 1s. I think you often go out of your way to make other people smile, and it brings you a lot of joy to see others happy and know that you were able to provide some happiness in this world that can be very dark, very cruel. And I think that it just brings you a lot of joy to know that you're able to provide some level of happiness to others. I get the sense that you may also be like this because you're hoping that if you show the world kindness, you will receive kindness and acceptance in return. I just get this feeling that maybe you haven't always been surrounded by the best people that provide this for you. Like, I got the imagery when I was looking at this in my mind of those TikTok videos that have been pretty popular lately, where the person, like, it's usually one person, but they're like themselves and then pretending to be another person, right? And they'll light the lighter, and to me it's like, you know, them lighting the lighter and really trying to go out in the world and like show people who they are and, like, you know, just who they really are at their core. And it's like them as a child usually lighting the lighter and then giving it to like their mom or dad or like another family member. And then that family member like blows out the lighter, right? They like blow out the lighter, the flame is gone, and then they give it back to them. And that person will try to like light the lighter again and give it to the person again, and they do the same thing, and it's usually like a repeated cycle. And it's, to me, really highlighting this idea of like, you know, we are born who we really are, right? Like as children, we are more ourselves, I feel like, than at any other point in our lives until we've like kind of worked through the trauma and baggage that childhood and life has like put onto us. But anyway, like we're our most pure version of ourselves, and we show those things to other people in hope that they will accept us as we are, and then sometimes they don't. And then we like, you know, try and show them again, and we try to light the lighter again, and they still don't show us the love and acceptance that we're hoping for. And I feel like you guys have such a beautiful, strong light within you. And I feel like I just get the feeling that you've done that multiple times in your life with other people, whether they be like caregivers or people that were supposed to be your friends or family, whoever it was. Like, you just have so much light and like warmth within you is what I'm feeling. Like, I really just get this like overwhelming, like radiating feeling of joy and love. And I feel like you have so much love to give, and that's what you have tried to do, and not everyone has given you the same love and kindness back. And so I feel like for you guys, it's just very important that you're able to give that to other people. And I feel like you do it so often. You're so kind, you're so generous, you're so loving, and it's just who you are. It's just in your nature. And again, Spirit, I feel like, is really saying, don't let other people blow out your lighter. Don't let other people and the world dim who you are. Maybe we need to stop giving the lighter to people that we know are going to, you know, use and abuse us. But don't stop giving that love and light to other people. Let me find where I was here in my little synopsis. Okay, here I was. Because of all of this, though, like I was kind of saying, where, you know, I feel like there's just been this, from other people, there's been this, there hasn't been this reciprocity, right, with like what you've been giving and what other people give back to you, or what other people do with what you give them. And because of that, I feel like you've been searching for your people. Like, you've been searching for the people that will love you and accept you and like treasure you for who you are, and like will want to protect that light. Because in the same instance, I see other videos, you know, with the same kind of idea behind them. And it's like, one that really like always resonates for me as an older sister is the ones that are like younger siblings, and they light the lighter, they try to give it to the parents take it, are about to blow it out, and it's like the older sister grabs it and like protects their light and gives it back to the younger sibling. And I feel like that's what you've been searching for, right? Is people that will really like love who you are and love like what you've given them, and will really appreciate you and don't want to see your fire, your light, your love burned out, right? They don't want to see you become this hard, darkened person. They want you to continue to be this generous, beautiful person that you are. Let's see here. What else do we have? Yeah, like I said, I just feel like Spirit is saying overall to like hold on. And like this is where I get a little emotional with your guys' reading, so I'm sorry if my voice cracks or if I start to cry a little bit, but don't give up. Don't stop being who you are, and don't stop spreading joy and beauty and love wherever you go. You will find these people who will love and celebrate you. If you haven't already, you may need to stop trying to make the people who don't appreciate who you are and what you have to offer, you may need to stop giving them. Sorry, I keep losing my spot because I'm like crying now. Give me 1 second. Let's see here. Like I said, you'll find the people who will love and celebrate you if you haven't already. And again, you may need to stop trying to make these people like that have hurt you and that don't appreciate you, even if they're your family, or like people that are supposed to be your friends who aren't really your friends in the first place, you need to stop giving them this lighter. You need to stop. And I'm not saying that you have to be cold and stop being like a loving person, because that's not who you are, group number one. That's not who you are at all. What I'm saying is sometimes we do need to create boundaries in how we allow other people to speak to us, to behave with us, to be around us. And there's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself and creating those boundaries as needed. And like being very rigid with those things, right? And, you know, again, maybe not always offering so much of ourselves to these people that don't appreciate us anyway, that like have never given us the same kind of love and kindness back, right? That have only taken our fire, our flame, and used it and abused it, and even sometimes blown it out because they have so many issues with themselves that they would rather stomp you out and stomp your fire out and your flame out, to like, because misery loves company is essentially what I'm getting at, right? It's like they would love to do that to you because they're miserable and they're unhappy, and God forbid anybody be happy and joyful and loving around them, right? And again, I'm not saying that you have to like completely cut off communication with these people or to stop being, you know, to start being cold towards them, but it's just like, again, a boundary of how far we're willing to go for these people that don't appreciate us and haven't ever given us the same kind of like love and kindness and generosity that we've given them. I do understand, you guys, that it's very scary to leave everyone and everything you know behind, or to stop trying with them so much, or to even have to create these boundaries with them so they can no longer use and abuse your generosity and kindness. But it is okay to look toward others and head in a different direction. It's okay to leave certain people behind in the process if you need to, even if they are family. You deserve happiness, my group number ones. And Spirit wants you to have happiness, community, and a sense of belonging. But sometimes in order for us to have that, we really have to evaluate our relationships to determine who is actually here for us and who wants the best for us. So again, you know, there may already be people in your life that, you know, may not be your family, maybe like acquaintances or so, that like really see you and like enjoy you and love you and show you a lot of like kindness and reciprocity back for like the things that you do. Those are the people that you need to start turning towards, is essentially what I was getting at there. Those are the people that like really see you for you and like appreciate you. Those are the people that you need to start leaning towards more and falling back from those who do not. Because, you know, when the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles came out, you guys, as well as the 4 of Wands, to me, it just screams like this contentment, having these people that we know love us, and like just feeling content and happy and peaceful in their presence, right? Feeling celebrated for who we are and enjoying the company of people who we not only celebrate, but who celebrate us and who truly love us and care for us and want us in their lives, right? And with the 6 of Wands coming out too, it's like, with the 6 of Wands and 6 of Cups, like I literally got this energy of you being a very generous, giving person and like going out of your way to make other people's day, to brighten their day. And this, I feel like, has gone unacknowledged for you for a very long time. People don't acknowledge just how generous and kind and loving you are. And there will be people that do, though. There will be people that see you and celebrate you and honor you because of who you are. And you guys, more than anything, deserve that. And, you know, again, like I said, I don't think you need to give up on this dream of having these connections with people, because you deserve them, group number one. You deserve to have people in your corner, people that love and support you and honor you for who you are and the beauty that you bring into the world. You deserve to have people like that. But again, sometimes we have to walk away from those who don't see us for that, from those people who don't appreciate us and don't show us that kind of love and kindness that we deserve. And again, you know, I know it's not in the case for everyone where they can just cut off family or friends, and that's okay. I'm not saying you have to cut these people out, because everyone's situation is going to be different here. But you really need to evaluate these relationships, see who you need to create boundaries with, see who you need to be more open with, see who maybe, if there are certain people that you are toxic and need to be cut out of your life, to do that for the time being, because sometimes that's the best thing for us so we can move on. And I just really feel like you guys don't even see how beautiful you are, group number one. You're so beautiful. You're so loving. Your heart, your soul is just so beautiful, and you deserve to have that recognized. You deserve to have people who appreciate that about you, who love you for you. And I just don't think that you're necessarily going to get that with the people in the past that haven't given you that, right? Whether they be parents, grandparents, siblings, even like old childhood friends that, again, may not actually be your friends. Yeah, I just think that you have so much to offer, and you really need to allow yourself to let in more people that will actually give you what you're needing, right? Like, those are the people that I'm seeing for you that will become like your family. They are the friends that will be your lifelong friends, that will feel like your family, because they will treat you as nothing less, right? They will treat you like family. They will treat you with the love and respect that you deserve, okay? So I could ramble on about this all day, because again, like, I was laying out your cards and I was sitting here like sobbing. And I started crying again, because I just feel like you guys really, really, really need to see your worth and your value and what you bring and provide to other people. And, you know, it's really about also like you loving and respecting yourself enough to walk away from certain situations that don't serve you with certain people, but not giving up that you'll find people that do love and appreciate you, and leaning more on those people and those relationships. Okay, I do apologize if you can hear my cat in the background. She's cleaning herself. But anyway, let's take a look here at some oracle cards for you and see what additional information we can get from Spirit. If there are any additional messages that Spirit has, anything Spirit would really like to emphasize for you. Let's see here. All right, so we got Lemuria for you, creating heaven on earth, it's happening. And then we have align your life, what is not aligned or needs to change. Okay. I feel like these are very self-explanatory, to be completely honest with you guys. Lemuria, creating heaven on earth, it's happening. Literally, your 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. For you guys, I feel like your heaven on earth, where you're going to feel the most content, is when you are surrounded by people that love you and appreciate you and feel like family. Even if they're not your biological family, that's okay. The people that are closest to you, that honor and love you like family should, right? I feel like that is essentially what's coming out here with Spirit, is when you start to make these connections and you really start to focus more on the relationships that are beneficial to you, that do serve you. Again, align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change for you guys? I feel like what needs to change is you giving so much of yourself to those that don't appreciate you, okay? And I feel like that's how you're going to create your heaven on earth, right? That's how you're going to create these relationships that are more fulfilling for you, by getting rid of the baggage, cutting back on the amount of time that you allow yourself to spend with certain people that don't lift you up, that don't make you feel good. Yeah, I feel like these are very, very self-explanatory. It's funny how Spirit really wanted those things reiterated because, I mean, again, I feel like when you really align your life and see like what needs to change in terms of your relationships with other people, that is what's going to allow you to get to this place of contentment and feeling accepted and loved by others. Okay. Let's take a look at some additional oracle cards here. So we have the Moonology deck here. We'll see if we can get any additional information from Spirit. If there are any other messages, anything that needs to be emphasized, anything else that our group number ones need to hear, Spirit. Okay. All right, new moon, a new start is coming. And then look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. Okay, a new start is coming for you guys. Again, hang on, don't give up. Don't feel like because these relationships have been a certain way, like don't feel like because maybe you've never gotten the love and appreciation and recognition that you deserve, that you never will, you guys, okay? Like, don't feel like that. Like I said, overall, I felt like Spirit was saying to you to not allow the world to dim your light and to hang on, because there are better things coming. There are better relationships coming. There are better people that are like better suited for you coming if they're not here already. And this is like, I feel like a very beautiful time for you guys because, again, I feel like you're finally going to get the recognition and the support and love that you deserve, group number one. So things will be changing. New things will be coming in for you. Just hold on. Don't give up. Keep going. And if you have to change course, if you have to get rid of certain people or cut back again with certain people, the time that we spend implementing boundaries with certain people, please do that. And again, look at the bigger picture. To me, is literally another reemphasis of align your life. Look at the bigger picture of your life and look at what you really, really want out of relationships and ask yourself, is this person giving me that? Is this person giving me what I'm putting into this relationship? Are they giving me that back? Are they being reciprocal with that? Are they giving me what I need irregardless in a relationship with somebody, whether that be, a family relationship, a friendship, a romantic relationship, whatever it is, because, that's something too that I didn't touch on, but this could very well be a romantic related relationship. Maybe you're with somebody where you give so much of yourself and it's because you really want to create this family dynamic. You want this contentment in your life. You want to have, the family and this connection, and it's like maybe they're not giving you that, and maybe you need to go in a different direction or leave that relationship so that you can find these things. And you can be appreciated by your partner for what you give into a relationship. But yeah, look at the bigger picture and evaluate the relationships in your life, whether they're romantic, platonic, familial, whatever. Okay, last set of oracle cards here. Again, looking for any last messages here, Spirit, that we may have for our group number ones. It's just like crazy to me how much when I just love it. Like I'm not articulating myself the best today. I apologize, but I just love it when we get oracle cards that really re-emphasize what's been said, and it's literally just kind of like another reminder from Spirit. It's like another synchronicity, another way to have things resonate as well. It's like, just these are things that really need to be done for you guys, group number one, because again, like I said, I feel like you guys are such beautiful, beautiful souls, such beautiful spirits, and you need to have people that appreciate that, people that love that about you, people that celebrate you for that, not people that tear you down for it. It's like the same idea of, when people tell you when you're growing up, if you're like me anyway, and you got told that you're too sensitive, and it's like, Okay, I'm sorry that I have feelings and emotions and that I feel for other people. There's nothing wrong with being sensitive. There's nothing wrong with like having compassion and empathy and being sensitive for other people, right? Or even toward yourself or situations. There's nothing wrong with expressing emotion. And it's like, you know, people try to tear apart these little parts about us throughout our lives, and you guys really just need to hang on to this core of who you are. And I swear, like, things are going to get better for you if they haven't already, and you will find your people. Like, I truly, truly, truly believe that. Okay. I feel like for you guys, I'm literally just like on my soapbox preaching to you about how great you are, but you're amazing, group number 1. And if no one has told you that, I'm gonna be the one to tell you that you're amazing and you deserve better for yourself. You deserve people in your life that love you and that appreciate you and that honor you and celebrate you for who you are. Okay. All right. Let's do one more shuffle and then we'll cut the deck. Just get 2 more cards here. Any additional information, Spirit? All right, listening, number 53, and solitude, number 13. Okay, I actually really love this. I feel like these are coming out for you, listening in particular, because like what I was hearing when I put this card down is when people show you who they are, believe them the first time, right? It's really important that we listen to people not only when they're talking to us, but when they're talking to us about other people, when they're talking to us about themselves, when they're just like showing us again who they are by the way that they treat us, the way that they treat other people, the things that they say, because our words matter. I don't care what anybody says, your words always matter. Your words have the ability to cut like a knife, right? It's so important that we are really cognizant of the things that we say. But yeah, I just really feel like even listening and like paying attention to like nonverbal cues, paying attention to people's body language, the way that they act in certain situations, but really just paying attention, right? Listening. And again, like I had said initially, like when I saw this card and laid it down, I heard the quote, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. So, you know, if you've been especially dealing with people for quite some time that, again, don't appreciate you, that try to put out your light because they feel like their own light has been stomped out or for whatever reason. I'm sorry for all that noise in the background. I don't know what the hell is going on out there. But anyway, just really like listening and paying attention to what people are saying and even what they're not saying when they're around you, and doing that in order to like better evaluate your relationships and like who you need to keep in your life, who you may need to cut time back with, you know, etc. And then with solitude, I think it's interesting that this is coming up because I think that for you guys, Spirit is saying that it will be important for you to take a step back, to evaluate these relationships, to do so with yourself and not trying to seek guidance from like everybody else outside you, because the thing is that everyone's relationship is different with each other than like your relationship with that direct person. So like for instance, something that comes up for me a lot is my relationship with my parents versus my sister's relationship with my parents versus my other sister's relationship with my parents, my relationship with my grandparents versus their relationships with our grandparents. Like we view our like those people very differently because our relationships with them are different and the way that they treated us is different, correct? So it's like, you know, I just like got this to come up as well. Like I was just kind of like remembering this as well with those TikTok videos that I was talking about earlier with the flames where people are like lighting the lighter. Sometimes it's like, you know, a daughter will hand it to her mother. The mother keeps blowing out the lighter, right? And then the mother will light the lighter and hand it to her son. And then her son blows out the lighter. And then she just keeps on giving him back a lighter that's lit. And it's like, even within the family, even like within siblings, the relationships and dynamics are going to be different. And so you have to rely on yourself and your intuition and how you feel and how you've like picked up on cues and listened to what people have said about themselves, about you, about other people. You have to pay attention to those things, and you have to evaluate your relationships with people. You can't allow other people's perceptions of like that person get in the way of like how you feel about them, right? Because the thing is, I have an okay relationship with my parents. Like, I am in a different place in my life than my sisters are. I have a different relationship with my parents than my sisters do. And, just because I feel a certain way about my parents doesn't mean my sisters have to feel a certain way about my parents, right? So it's just kind of keeping that into perspective and understanding that your view on these relationships and with these people is valuable, okay? So I'm going to leave your reading here, group number 1. I really, really hope that this message resonated for you guys, that it helped you in some way, that it allows you to see how beautiful and amazing you are. And don't ever let anybody make you feel less than that, because you deserve so much better than that, my group number 1s. But anyway, if this message resonated for you, please leave me a comment down below and let me know. Give this video a thumbs up so that it can reach other people that may need to hear this message as well. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put out new pick-a-card readings or new tarot readings, like collective readings, once a week. I love you guys so much. I'm hoping all the best for you, and I really, really hope that you're able to see your value and you don't let anyone diminish that. I love you, and I hope to see you in next week's tarot reading. Thank you. Bye. Hi there, my group number 2s. So as a reminder, if you chose the Sincerely book by F.S. Yusuf, and this was your passage, I'm just going to go ahead and read it to you again. So you have, Jana, we promised each other forever, and I find myself praying for that vow to be fulfilled under a celestial date tree, which stretches farther than our eyes can see, and by rivers freely flowing with milk and honey. I pray our love is heavenly enough to be suited for the hereafter. Okay, so I just got the chills. I just got the chills because I was thinking about this passage. And when I laid out your tarot cards initially, you guys, I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting there and I was really trying to piece together the message. And to the point where I couldn't even read or I couldn't even write up a synopsis because I just didn't feel like my writing was doing the reading justice. So I'm gonna do my very best to explain how I feel like this ties in with your reading. For me, this poem, this is the 4th time I've read it, because I read it a couple times off camera as well. This poem to me feels like the heartbreak of losing somebody before their time. And I feel that way because initially the poet, the person, F.S. Yusuf, says that we promised each other forever. And to me, I don't know, I just get this feeling like perhaps Jana, the person that this poem is about, passed away before they were able to spend their quote-unquote forever together. And then they also talk about how they pray that their love is heavenly enough to be suited for the hereafter. And so I feel like it's almost saying I pray that I will reunite with you and we will have our forever one day in heaven or whatever it is that you believe in. And looking at your guys' cards, I feel like you guys are very independent. I feel like you're used to being by yourself. You're content with being alone. But there's this part of you that dreams for that kind of romantic love. And I feel like, you have very beautiful connections in your life. You feel whole and complete by yourself. And there's like this part of you though that just wonders, like, what if I could meet my person, my special someone? And maybe you have already, and maybe I just feel like there's a part of you, especially with like these cards here in the middle, with us getting the 10 of Swords, the 8 of Swords, the 4 of Swords, and Death. I feel like you guys get in your own way a lot. And I think that it's because of the fear of abandonment. I feel like it's the fear of this person that you show all this love and affection to, and that you open your heart up to and you're vulnerable to, leaving you in some capacity, right? Leaving you for someone else, leaving you and the relationship, dying, because it's scary to be that vulnerable and open with somebody else and to show them that love and affection and give them our heart, right? And I feel like you guys have almost convinced yourself that this is too much. You don't need the romantic stuff. You're fine by yourself. And I just want to say that there is nothing wrong with not having a romantic partner. You don't need a romantic partner. It is important that we have like beautiful relationships and other capacities in our life as well. But I really just feel like there's this part of you that's like, I wish I could have what I see like on TV or like in the movies, that fairy tale romance. And I think that there's this part of you, like, it's so funny when I'm looking at the Nine of Pentacles, to me, it's like, this is you, whether you're like a woman or a man, and you're sitting here reading like a romance book. Like, I don't know why that's coming through, but it is. And I think that you're a lot more romantic than you even let on. There's this part of you that wants to be romanced and wants to fall in love and wants to give your heart away. But there's this bigger part of you that's terrified that when you do, you will be left. Like, you will be forgotten. You'll be left behind. Your heart will be broken and shattered into a million pieces. And it really hinders you and prevents you from like seeking that romantic love, and you just stick to your books, right? And that's like what I'm feeling for you guys. And I feel like the message that Spirit is really wanting to get across to you is this here. And I say that because with the 4 of Pentacles here and the 5 of Swords, it's like, again, you convinced yourself that you're stable and you're complete and you're whole on your own, and you are. I'm not saying that you're not. What I'm saying is that you've done this at the expense of yourself. It's like you're betraying yourself, but you're also somebody that when things get difficult in a relationship, you're quick to cut things off. You're quick to ghost. You're quick to like, I don't know. It's almost like you self-sabotage these relationships because you're anticipating that somebody is going to leave you or hurt you. So you want to beat them to the punch, right? Because you need to maintain your stability, your contentment with yourself and like with the relationships you already have. And because of that, it's almost like you just neglect the thoughts or the feelings of the other person. And I may not even be saying that in the best way, but what I mean is it's like you would sacrifice the relationship and like this opportunity to get to know this other person deeply and be vulnerable and open with them. You would sacrifice that for your own stability and contentment alone, right? Like you would give that up because, again, you're worried of being hurt, like you're concerned with being hurt. So you're willing to, beat them to the punch, to deliver the blow, to cut with the knife, so that you can maintain like your individuality, your sense of self, and you don't have to be open and vulnerable because it is destabilizing in a way to be open and vulnerable, right? Because we have opportunity then for someone to hurt us when we're open and we're vulnerable. And I just really feel like Spirit's telling you that it's time for you to explore and be open and vulnerable, especially if this is resonating for you and you're somebody that really wants a romantic relationship. And I'm not saying you're not going to get hurt, group number 2. I'm not saying that, because I can't promise you that, you know? I can't say that it's going to be an easy relationship, things would work out okay, you know, things would be perfect, that you're going to find the love of your life. I can't say that, but what I can say is that you're doing yourself a disservice by not allowing yourself to be open and vulnerable with somebody, because you don't know what can come of it. You could literally find the love of your life, the person that creates these rivers of milk and honey for you, the person that makes you feel your most complete and that sees you for you. And I'm going to cry. Oh my God, I cried with pile number 1's pile 2, or with group number 1's pile 2. We just lose so much more by not letting our guard down, by not allowing, or by allowing our thoughts about, and our anxieties, our worries about what if, or, you know, what if this happens, or what if they break my heart. We allow that, you're allowing that to stop you from living your life and creating this beautiful love story potentially, right? Like, I just really, really feel like that, you guys. I feel like you are hindering yourself, and you're doing it because, again, you're like, I'm better off alone anyway. And like I said in the beginning, I don't think there's anything wrong with being alone if that's what you truly, truly want. I just feel like that's not what you guys truly, truly want. I feel like you want that love, you want that romance, you want that person. And that's perfectly fine to want that. But you also have to put yourself in the position to where you could have that. You know, you can't cut off a relationship and end things before it's even started. You have to give yourself the opportunity and put yourself out there. And that does put us in the position to potentially be hurt. And if you do get hurt, that's okay. It happens. It sucks. It's terrible. It's heart-wrenching. But it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all, and to have never been loved, and to have never had the opportunity to grow and learn what we like in relationships and what we want in a partner, so that we can then go out again, our heart on our sleeve, and attempt to find that in someone again. And eventually, you will. I really, truly believe that you will. But you have to put yourself in the position to do that, okay? And even when you do that, doesn't mean that we can't be heartbroken again. That doesn't mean that person can't leave us in some way, shape, or form again, even by death, you know? It doesn't mean that we don't have the potential to lose that person. But it's better that we had the opportunity to love them and to be loved by them, and to have gotten the chance to experience that relationship and all that it entailed. And again, to learn what we expect from a partner, what we need from a partner, and how it is that we are best loved. That is like ultimately what I'm feeling for you guys. And, you know, I just want to touch on the 4 of Swords here real quick. I think that you guys need to I think that you spend enough time alone, but like what I mean is taking the time to rest and reflect. And you don't have to rush into anything. And then if, you know, things don't work out beautifully, you don't have to rush from like one person to the next. It's okay to take a beat in between and to recollect ourselves and to mend our hearts. But we can't just not give our heart away because we're afraid that it will continue to be broken. You know, we can't live in this state of fear that we'll never find what we're looking for or who we're looking for. And I just think that that is the message that Spirit has for you guys overall, is that in order for you to find that great love, in order for you to have that love and that experience that you're wanting, you do have to put yourself out there. And, you know, it's scary to put ourselves out there. Again, it's destabilizing to be vulnerable. But it's so important for us to be vulnerable and to be open to what's out there and to wear our hearts on our sleeves, especially in the name of romance. Because how else will we know if we're truly compatible with that person? How else will we know if they truly see us and understand us if we're not vulnerable and open with them and we're not 100% ourselves? So yeah, I really feel like that's what Spirit overall is wanting to tell you guys. Group number 2. I'm going to take a drink of water real quick because my throat is very dry. And then we're going to go ahead and get into your oracle cards. I didn't even do my little spiel in the beginning because I was so thrown off by this reading. Not terribly thrown off, but what I mean is when I laid out your cards, I was just how do I adequately express this? And for me, it was literally just talking it out as opposed to writing it. Because again, my writing process, I just wasn't writing what I was feeling, and my words weren't coming across as clearly. So I really hope that this makes sense for you guys, and I really hope that that resonated. Let's take a look though at your oracle cards. I do have 3 different oracle decks that we'll take a look at for you guys to get any additional information from Spirit, any emphasis on the first part of the reading here with the tarot cards, but really anything additional that you guys need to know or hear at this time. But one thing that I'm hearing just sitting here is stop trying to beat people to the punch. Stop trying to think that everybody's gonna leave you, that no one's gonna love you and accept you for who you are. And stop trying to, like I said, cut people off and beat them to the punch before they quote unquote would leave you, even though that may have never been their intention to begin with. It really limits your ability to get far in relationships and make that deep intimate connection that I feel like you're wanting to make with people when you do that. Okay, so let's see here. I'm sorry if you're hearing a little bit of whining in the background. I had mentioned at the beginning of the video that my brother-in-law is staying with us, so his dog is here and he just gets a little separation anxiety. Okay, since that kind of came out. So we have a mirror. Who or what is triggering you? And then let's see if we can get one other card here. I'm going to do one other shuffle and we'll cut. Okay, deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. Okay, very beautiful. I feel like that both of these are coming out. With mirror, who or what is triggering you? I think that this is coming out because Spirit really wants you to do some reflective work and to figure out why is it that you push people away? Why is it that you cut people out? Why is it that you don't allow yourself? And I don't feel like you're like this in friendships. I feel like it's like this romantically for you. And why is that? Why is it that you cut other people out? Why is it that you feel like people are going to abandon and leave you? And a lot of the times this ends up being some deep inner child, deep inner teen, deep inner even 20-year-old work, because we really have to get to the root of why we feel that way anyway. Who abandoned us? Who made us feel unworthy of love? Who made us feel like somebody wouldn't want to stick around for us? Who made you feel like that? Group number 2. And really reflecting on that, and reflecting on why it is that you keep people at an arm's length and keep people at an arm's length, and you aren't able to be vulnerable with people in romantic relationships. Because I don't feel like it's that way with your platonic friendships. I feel like you're very open and you're very much yourself in those relationships. Why do you struggle to be that way in your romantic relationships? And really evaluating that, looking yourself in the mirror and figuring that out. So that you can stop repeating these patterns. And then with deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. again, I think that this is just an ode to the Four of Swords here coming out, and you guys really needing to take that time to rest and to retreat and to do some of that inner work, okay? And it's okay to allow yourself in those moments to be held and to be emotional and be open and be vulnerable. But, you know, especially with the be held part, I think that the only way that we're able to get there is to be vulnerable and to be open and even vulnerable and honest with ourselves, because we're not always the most vulnerable and honest and open with ourselves. And I think for you, it's going to be really important for you to do that, for you to be able to move through this and to, you know, actually create these relationships that you're wanting. But yeah, retreating and resting for you, I feel like is going to be very important, especially during this time where you would be working through why it is that you feel this way and why it is that you feel like you can't have this kind of like romantic relationship that I feel like you're wanting. All right, so let's take a look at another deck here, and then we have one more after this. And you know, with the deep replenishment coming out, work through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. Oh my gosh. I was going to say though here with the deep replenishment coming out, sometimes we really need to, again, do a lot of this healing, do a lot of this inner work in order to fully replenish ourselves and to show ourselves the love and care that maybe we weren't given, right? Maybe you have this fear of abandonment because you had emotionally neglectful parents and you were never given the love and affection that you needed. And so you feel like because your parents couldn't do that for you, your family couldn't do that for you, that maybe you feel like you're not worthy of it. Maybe you feel like you're hard to love or you're unlovable, and that's just not true, my group number twos. And so I think that also with the Four of Swords coming up here, it's time for us to really give ourselves that love and care and attention that we need. And literally rest can be that. Rest can be that self-love that we need. Taking a beat and really just focusing on ourselves and what we need emotionally in that moment to get us to where we want to be, right? Because if we can't give to ourselves emotionally, then we're not going to be able to give to anybody else emotionally and form that sort of like loving relationship that we're wanting. Hilarious that work through your fears came out. We'll go over that in a second. Spirit's really funny sometimes, I swear. Okay, and then let's get one other card here from this deck. Do one more shuffle and then we'll cut. All right, and then we got balance, spirituality, and practicality, full moon in Pisces. Okay, so let's look at the work through your fears first, the new moon in Scorpio. I really feel this section here, the Eight of Swords and death, when looking at this card. And obviously because Scorpio is related to, or is ruled by the death card in the tarot, but the Eight of Swords is really about working through this fear, this like mentality that, you know, you have limited resources, or that you have like I'm not even like phrasing it the best, I apologize, but like what I mean is with the Eight of Swords, you know, when you look at this card, she's not bound up in the way that she thinks she is. It's almost like she's blindfolded and she's bound, and it's like she's vulnerable and helpless, but she's really not. Like if you take a closer look at the card here, she would be able to reach for her broom and her hat, right? She would be able to get out of this situation, but she has to be willing to do the work to do that. She has to see that, you know, while her fears are valid in this situation, in order for her to move past it, she has to let go of this idea that there is this outside control on her life and like what she's doing. And so for you in particular, like, I feel like you're needing to work through this fear that you're going to be rejected, that somebody isn't going to love you for who you are and appreciate you for who you are. I feel like there's somebody out there for you that will. I feel like that's the case for everybody. There's someone for everyone, right? That's why they always say there's plenty of fish in the sea. There is somebody for everyone. There is somebody that will see you and love you for who you are. But you have to show them who you are. You have to be open and vulnerable with who you are. And it's okay to be vulnerable and open, but it's like, I feel like people see that as such a bad thing. People see vulnerability as such a bad thing, and you know, it's really not. It's how we make these connections with other people, and we allow people to see us for who we are. And I think that, you know, this is coming out as a reminder that you need to work through this fear of abandonment, this fear that somebody won't see you and love you and treasure you. And we also do, like, I feel like, need to work through this fear, even as a society, that just because, you know, we promised forever with somebody and it doesn't work out, that we'll never find somebody else, that we'll never have another love. Because sometimes people die, and sometimes relationships burn out, and sometimes even, you know, even the best partners that we thought we could have will betray us or hurt us in some way. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be ourselves, and that doesn't mean we shouldn't be vulnerable about how we feel and what we want in a relationship. And then balance spirituality and practicality. I feel like this is actually coming out because you're needing to find balance between between, you know, like this fairy tale idea, like, of romance, of what you're wanting, with the practical ways of getting there and what a relationship will actually entail. Because I'm getting this feeling, for some of you anyway, that a lot of the time why you'll leave a relationship or you'll end things is because it's not perfect. It's not exactly like what was depicted to you in a Disney movie or on a rom-com, and love and romance just isn't like that. Like, relationships are not perfect. They're hard and they take a lot of work. And it's best when we come at it from a practical level, as well as, you know, being loving and vulnerable and feeling like we have that spiritual connection with somebody, but understanding that there is a lot of practicality to having a long-lasting relationship with somebody. And just because, you know, we end up together, we get married, we live our quote unquote happily ever after, that doesn't mean that things aren't ever going to be turbulent or hard. Sometimes they are, and that's okay. Really, it's asking ourselves, is this relationship, is this person worth that? Are they worth the struggle? Do they balance me in ways? Do I balance them in ways? Are we able to find compromise when we do argue? And what are we compromising on? Like, are these big things that we're having to change about ourselves and our core? Or are these little things like, you know, you wash the dishes this week, I'll wash them next, you know, those kind of things. So that balance between that, I feel like the practical and, you know, the spiritual, or like the romantic side of things, because Pisces does like to romanticize things. So, you know, romanticizing, you know, what this relationship could be, as well as being practical about it and understanding that things aren't always going to be perfect. They're not always going to be all lovey-dovey, perfect honeymoon. And that's okay. That's like the beauty of relationships, right? They have an ebb and a flow to them. Sometimes we're like perfectly flowing, going great. And then sometimes we hit a dam, we hit a log, and it's like, what are we going to do now? You know? So yeah, finding that person that you're actually wanting to work on those things with. All right, let's take a look here at our final oracle cards and see if we can get any last messages for you guys here. Yeah, I really hope that like what I'm saying today is making sense. I didn't get like the best sleep last night, so I feel like my brain's just a little bit foggy, but I hope the general message is getting across to you guys well enough, and that you're kind of understanding where I'm going. But I apologize if I seem a little bit more all over than normal. I feel like it's because I just did not get the best sleep last night. Anyway, let's take a look here. Any final messages Spirit may have for you? Go ahead and cut. All right, so we have balancing act, literally just said that. And then we have goblins. I want to take a look at the goblins card because I think I understand what Spirit is saying here, but I'd like to just take a look for my own purposes to make sure that I'm not misinterpreting that message. But with balancing act, you know, this is literally what we were just talking about here with the Pisces card of finding the balance between romanticizing this romantic relationship as well as understanding that there is a level of logic and practicality to having a long-lasting romantic partner and relationship, and we have to be willing to find that balance. We can't expect that things are going to be beautiful, rosy, perfect all of the time, but we also don't want to have a relationship where, you know, 90% of the time things are terrible and bad and we're arguing and we're just not seeing eye to eye, and, you know, we want to find that balance, right? And then goblins, as well as like finding the balance within yourself so that you're able to still remain your own independent person with like friendships and relationships out of your relationship, like friendships and relationships out of your romantic relationship, as well as like finding that time to cultivate a romantic relationship and find a long-lasting partner. That is a balancing act as well. So it's really for you just finding that balance in life, irregardless, not feeling like we have to be one way or the other, not feeling like we always have to be single, not feeling like we always have to be in a relationship, you know, finding the balance between the two that works for you. And then, like I said, I want to look at goblins here real quick. Yep, okay. That's kind of what I was thinking that was being meant in this card. So it says goblins, fear is an illusion, choose love today, forgive yourself and others. Goblins are born when you're wounded and something essential is lost in that experience. From that point on, as you forget your wholeness, they remain with you in the shadows. There they remind you of what brought them into being by mimicking your own voice, tricking you into believing that you're unworthy, victimized, or unlovable. They hold you hostage through low self-worth, self-sabotage, and the feeling that you're lacking what you need. If goblins pay you a visit, know that they represent the shadow of your own self or someone else's, and that they're leading you into a potentially reactive situation. A goblin's card's appearance is an opportunity for growth, however, and a signal that you must love yourself. No human is without flaws. The goblin's message is that you must release resentments and negative self-talk. Within you is the spark of the divine. Ask Spirit to help heal you. Miracles can and do happen. Let go of the negativity. I feel like that is very self-explanatory. Like, I really just feel like this is Spirit again re-emphasizing that you are not broken. It's important for you to love yourself and give other people that same love and not feel like you're unlovable, you're unworthy, you're not those things, group number 2. Spirit overall wants you to realize that you're not those things, but you do have to break this self-sabotaging that's been going on for you, this negative self-talk where you believe that, you know, somebody wouldn't stick around for you, that you're not worthy of someone sticking around, you're not worthy of somebody loving you, and it's just not true, my group number 2s. Like, it's not true at all. You are worthy of so much. You are lovable just because you exist and you are able and capable to love. You are worthy of love. And you're worthy of finding somebody that values you, that sees that in you, and that will stick around for you through the long haul of it all. So don't just like grasp onto the first person that you get into a romantic relationship with if they don't show you those things, because overall you guys really need to work on how you view yourself and the love that you give to yourself, in order for you to be able to find that love in other people and like know what you want from other people and what you actually like want and expect out of a relationship and a romantic partner. So anyway, you guys, I really hope that this reading today resonated for you. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please leave me a comment down below if it did. Give this video a thumbs up so that it can reach as many other people as possible that may also need to hear today's message. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. I put out new pick a card readings, new collective tarot message readings once a week. And I love you guys. I'm hoping all the best for you. I really hope that you're able to see just how beautiful and lovable you are and what you deserve from other people, especially like in romantic relationships. But truly just know that like you are worthy and you are worth sticking around for, and you will find that from somebody. Anyway, I love you so much, and I hope to see you in my reading next week. Thank you for joining me. Bye. All right, hello there, my group number 3s. As a reminder, if you chose the Serenity book, then this is your reading this week in regard to whatever uplifting messages Spirit has for you. I just, again, want to say as a disclaimer that I am a 3-pet household again right now because my brother-in-law is living with us and his dog whines, has like separation anxiety. And so I may need to pause the video a couple times just depending on how much noise there is in the background. But let's go ahead and get into your reading here real quick. We're going to read your passage again from the Serenity book by F.S. Yusuf. So, you got full of life. I will choose my own road, one which does not carry your remnants, one where your ashes have not touched. This is my own journey, my story, and I intend to make it memorable. So that is your passage that you guys selected, or that you selected for the group. So let's go ahead and get into your tarot cards first, and then I do have 3 different oracle decks that we'll look at as well to get any additional information. So I just want to start by saying that if I had picked a deck, this is probably, or a group, this is probably the one that I would have picked. I love the quote that you guys received and ended up picking for this pile. I think the quote is very indicative of you wanting to forge your own path. I think for some of you, this may be the most authentic you've ever had the courage to be in your life. Perhaps you did a lot of evaluation on who you were and where you were headed, and you decided it's just not for me. And I really do feel like you're a trailblazer, like you're forging your own path and you don't care anymore who follows or supports you because you support you. You believe in yourself and what you're capable of, and you're content with where you are going and where you have been. And this may be the most content you've been with yourself, like period. The most patience you've ever had for yourself and your own journey. I feel like Spirit does want you to continue down this path and be confident in yourself and enjoy your journey. Don't try to rush anything. Good things really do take time, and you are creating a beautiful life for yourself. Just keep both feet on the ground and don't let yourself get too carried away in your passions. You'll get what you're after. I really do feel like you will. But you will have the life, and you will have the life that you envision for yourself. So don't give up, keep pushing along. But again, like I said, I feel like, especially with this section here with the 4 of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands, it really is serving as a reminder to keep both feet firmly planted on the ground and don't let yourself get too carried away. Don't be too impulsive. Really try and think through your actions and what you're doing next, and if like, you know, the decision that you're going to make is more in line with like your ego and wanting to rush things, or if it's more in line with like, you know, your path and it's actually going to make a difference for you. It's actually going to help you along the way, if that makes sense. So just be a little bit more wary and cautious about your decisions right now. because I do feel like you guys just get really, really inspired by like your own passion, your own fire, this desire to go after things. And I think it's beautiful. Like I really, really do. Because I think that you guys are very inspirational. Like I really get like Aries energy. So you could have a lot of Aries in your chart. Aries could be a prominent placement in your chart. Also, something to note is that around like June or so of this year, 2023, the North Node will be moving into Aries. So maybe this is why, because Aries is very much so about blazing their own path. Aries is unique. Aries likes to kind of go against the grain. They don't mind the struggle. They don't mind if things are difficult. But one thing about Aries is they will always be themselves. And Aries will always show you who they are. And yeah, just very determined, very forceful energy, and not in a bad way either. But again, I think that it's just important that we don't get too carried away in that, and we really take the time to think through like our next steps and where we're going. So this is a good time for you to learn how to better regulate your emotions as well. And again, this will help you not be too reckless or get carried away. Learn how your thoughts and feelings affect one another and use this to your advantage. Regulating your emotions can help with your thoughts, and really examining your thoughts can affect how, and really examining how your thoughts can affect your feelings, excuse me. So, you know, it's the same kind of idea with anxiety, especially because it usually starts in the mind. We start, you know, going through these different things or possibilities in our mind, and then our body kind of responds as well. So we start to get like anxious mentally, and then our body feels physically anxious. And you know, our palms can get sweaty, our heart rate can increase. Sometimes we can feel like lightheaded, like, and we're not getting enough air, which can go into like a panic attack. So just really be mindful of how you're feeling and how that's affecting you, and really pay attention to that. Like, be an observer, be very objective with yourself this year. And not just this year, but like in general, with this like path that I feel like you guys are going down, just like really take the time to check in with yourself, see how you're doing, see how you're feeling, because I feel like you have the potential to create so much, to again really like push the envelope. And it's just important that you don't allow yourself to get like too sucked into the emotions. Don't allow yourself to become too reckless in the process of doing so. Let me see if I mentioned anything else. Yeah, I had just kind of gone into like an example about anxiety like I just did. So I really do feel like this will be an important facet to your success, though, how well you're able to control your emotions, how well you're able to like step back impulsively from doing something. I want to give you guys like an example. So in my personal life, I don't even know if I've mentioned this or not on this channel, but I do have some chronic illnesses. And I, in my early 20s, like spent a lot of money trying to figure out like what the root cause of my chronic illness is. And like the big one for me was Hashimoto's. So I have autoimmune thyroid disease, and I was really trying to, you know, do what I could to like reverse it, to put it in remission, to better control it. And I spent a lot of money doing that. So I have, and you know, if you live in the US, you know that a lot of elective stuff that you choose to do, like healthcare wise, ends up not being covered. So a lot of the testing and stuff that I was doing wasn't covered by my insurance, because I was also using a doctor, like she is an actual MD, like with her name, who was practicing as a functional medicine doctor, and she didn't fall within my my covered providers. So I was paying out of pocket to go see her, out of pocket whenever my thyroid medication doses is changed. I was paying out of pocket like for my thyroid medication, because I was using like compounding pharmacy, and they made the medication there on hand. So like I was just spending a lot of money, and I did accrue some medical debt that I've been, you know, working really hard to pay off. And I also want like another dog. I would love to adopt a dog, but like we live in an apartment, and a lot of the dogs that are adoptable in our area are bigger dogs, and I just don't think that's fair to a big dog to have them in like such a tiny living space. And my husband and I work like 4 or 5 days a week. The only time we'd really be able to take the dog out is like on the weekend to like let its energy out. So anyway, like ideally I'd want like a smaller dog, which they're just really hard to come by in Colorado for some reason. Like they're not easy to come across. And then I have my dog who like doesn't understand personal space because he loves people and dogs so much. And so anyway, I would love to have another French bulldog. That's what my current dog is, Reggie. He's a Frenchie. And I would love to have another one. I just really love bulldogs. And there's this breeder that I followed for a while. And she, like, they ethically breed, they make sure that the animals are, like, that the dogs are well, not trained, but that they're, like, that they're able to be around other dogs, that they're socialized, I guess is what I'm looking for. And anyway, their French bulldogs like aren't overly priced either. Like I swear you go some places and they want to charge you $7,000 for a French bulldog, and I'm like, absolutely not. But theirs are much more reasonable, and because they had a really big litter, they like took $500 off of the price of their Frenchies. And anyway, like I saw the notification and I like sent it to my husband, and I was like, oh my God, should we get another dog? And then I had to sit there and really think to myself, like, I'm trying to pay stuff off. I shouldn't be buying another dog and spending that much on another dog anyway. We would ultimately like to give like a shelter dog a home. If you live in Colorado though, like, I don't know, comment down below or something, because these prices for these like adoption fees for dogs are just ridiculous in my opinion. But I'm from Kansas, so it's just like different for me. But anyway, I like had to sit there and think about it. Like I wanted to like be very spontaneous and just go for it, but I had to really sit there and consider like all of the facets and all of the options. And like, with us having my brother-in-law's dog here right now too for potentially a couple months, it's like, well, what's the smart thing to do? Like, what's the logical thing to do? What's the practical thing to do? And so obviously I didn't get another dog, which broke my heart a little bit, but like I'll live, it's not something that is a necessity, and I want to be able to take care of that dog. And, it's just not fair if I get a little puppy that I can't even be here that frequently with, and all these different things. So it's just kind of that. It's like, instead of acting so spontaneously, like in my early 20s, I probably would have just like messaged the breeder and been like, I'll take one. But I really, really had to be like more cautious with that. So, just trying to be more thoughtful with your decisions as well, like what you're gonna do. Because I don't think it's wrong to like follow your impulses, you guys. Like, I'm not trying to throw you off from that, but I am saying that I think it's really important that you really take the time to be rational and consider your options and consider like what going down that path would potentially do for you, so that you don't end up in a situation where your back's against the wall and it's like, what do I do from here? But yeah, I am gonna go ahead and leave the tarot portion here. I think I'm gonna get into your oracle cards now. But overall, I just really see this time as being one where you're gonna be much more authentic in who you are, much more confident in who you are, and you're just gonna stop giving a fuck about what anybody thinks. And I think that's really, really cool, guys. I think that it's really important for you guys to do that. And I think that, one thing that we don't talk about enough is how much vulnerability plays into authenticity. And I think that you're just going to be so much more authentic and open and vulnerable than you've probably ever been before. And just remember, like I had mentioned, to have the patience, have the thoughtfulness, have the love and consideration for yourself on this journey, because you know what, you may make some reckless decisions, or you may, skew from your path a little bit, and that's okay. It really, really is. it's more important that we show ourselves grace in those times, show ourselves compassion and understanding in those times, as opposed to being so harsh on ourselves. Because again, remember the importance here of you paying attention to the thoughts that come about for you and how they make you feel. And when we have these negative thoughts of, oh, you really fucked that up, or oh, that was really stupid of you to do, it hurts it hurts yourself to do that. It's hurtful to say that to somebody else, so why would you ever think or say that to yourself? So just keep that in mind, you guys. I am going to go ahead and look at some of the oracle decks here for us. So we'll start off here with the God, what is this deck even called? I'm like blanking on it for some reason. Where did I even put the box? It's the Work Your Light Oracle deck. Sorry, guys. I don't know. Mercury really is in the freaking microwave right now. Mercury's in Gatorade. Like, it's just crazy out here. I was like really feeling the effects of Mercury retrograde the other day too. Like, I just could not form coherent sentences, and I couldn't freaking I just couldn't think. Like, I literally couldn't think. Like, my brain was just moving so slow. I felt like, if you guys are older like I am, you know how, like, when they first came out with computers, they had that Pong game, and it was literally, like, one block thing and a ball and, like, another one, and it was, like, playing back and forth, right? That's how I felt my brain was the other day. Was literally, like, that basically functioning. Okay, let's take a look here. Oops. Not quite that many cards. I'm going to shuffle and then just go ahead and cut your guys' stack. Okay. All right. So you got Dance with Life, do something to change your energy. Love that. And then you also got Birthing a New Age, Birthing New Creations, Dreaming a New World into Being. Okay. I really think that these are both really fitting, because to me, when you're like dancing with life, you're literally letting life just flow and take you where it may, and you're just in like harmony with the world around you, with the way that your life is going. And I really do think that's like the case for you guys, pile number 3. Like, you may not be there already, but I really feel like that's the direction that you need to head toward, or that you're going to head toward. Because I get the feeling that maybe even for a while, your energy has been very stagnant. You've just felt very complacent with the way that things were, and it's because you were doing things that like weren't authentic to you. You know, whether that be being in a certain relationship, having a certain group of friends, being in a certain career. And I think that you literally just need to like have fun. Again, like I had said, you know, I feel like Aries energy here. I also get like Sagittarius vibes, like fire vibes in general, but like Sagittarius definitely always gives me that feeling of dancing with life and just going with the flow and letting what be, or what may be, and what is be. And it's just like, you're just like, whatever, it is what it is, you know. I'm living my best life, having a great time, and you know, it's okay to just do that and not worry so much about, again, what everybody else thinks, how everybody else believes you should be performing or dancing or acting. Like, screw that. It's just about you and like what you think. And then with Birthing a New Age, I really feel like this just kind of is referencing this new path that you'll be going on of authenticity, where, you know, you're bringing this new world into being, like your own world. Because let's be real, we're all like our own we all live our own lives, and our lives are all so complex. Like, one thing that's just popping up for me right now that is like, I don't know if you're, you know, out in public sometimes and you look around and you're like, I don't know, eating something, like if you're at dinner or you're shopping around, and you just kind of like look at other people and think like, wow, their lives are just as complex and intimate and like just as important as mine. You know what I mean? Like, not to say that I would never think anybody's life isn't as important as mine, but it's just like so interesting because they just are like a background character in the movie that is your life, and their life is just as complex, just as interesting, just as diverse and beautiful as yours is. And it's because, like, literally they're in their own world, you're in your own world, and you are really bringing in this like new way of being, this new created world for yourself by being more authentically you. I hope that made sense. Like I said, Mercury is in retrograde, and my brain has been doing the best it can the last couple days. Whenever Mercury is in retrograde, and it always depends on what sign it's in retrograde, but it really just, it be affected me. It really does. It just be out here killing me. So, yeah. And that's on being a Libra Mercury, and in sidereal astrology being a Virgo Mercury, like that's on that. So where communication is important to you, and you know, sometimes it just doesn't work out the way that you want it to. Okay, so you have full moon in Libra here. A win-win outcome is forecast. And then we also have a personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. So I feel like this is in regard to the personal issues that you've been having, where you feel very complacent, you feel very trapped even, you feel like you're not moving down the correct path for yourself, or you're not moving in a way that feels good to you in terms of how, you know, you're moving within your life, whether, like I said, it be in your relationships, your career, whatever it is. And I feel like you really, and it's so funny because we just had a full moon in Cancer too. We just had a full moon in Cancer on the 7th of January. And so you could still be feeling some of the effects of that full moon in Cancer because it was a freaking doozy. I was more emotional, I think, than I've ever been. And, you know, maybe that was kind of like your turning point, guys. Like, maybe that was the point where you were like, all right, you know, I'm done with living my life this way because it doesn't feel good to me. I don't like this. I don't enjoy it, and I'm done. And, you know, maybe that was it for you. It was like that resolution of, I'm done fighting myself, and I'm done feeling like I need to be something that I'm not, feeling like I need to fit into a mold that I don't. And I'm just going to be me, and I'm just going to do me, and I'm just going to live my life the way that I want to. And it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks or wants from me. So, like, very interesting that that's coming out, guys. And then we have full moon in Libra here. A win-win outcome is forecast. So honestly, I'm seeing this as like a win-win with you being able to better balance like your emotions and your thoughts. And again, really understanding how those two things affect each other, because Libra is an air sign. So Libra can be very mental. As somebody that has a Libra moon, me, I know how difficult it can be to be trying to balance the logical practical with like, how do I feel about that? And so I think that it'll be like really important for you guys to be able to do that, and how good that will be for your emotional state, for your physical state, and like for you overall while you're on this journey of really like self-discovery, self-authenticity, and really coming into your own. And again, I don't know what kind of journey you guys are on. Perhaps you've left like your old friends behind, coworkers behind. Perhaps you're like you've moved across the country and you're just wanting to start over. But whatever your journey is, excuse me, I see a lot of future potential there for you guys. I see a lot of like beauty coming out of this. And I just think that it's like I had mentioned in the portion, which is the tarot, how much of a facet that is, or how like big of a facet it is for you to be able to better understand and control your emotions and not allow them to overcome you and how you're feeling, like what your thoughts are, you know, everything like that. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm seeing with those two guys. And then let's take a look at your last oracle card deck here and see what additional information we can get for you guys. Ooh, that one just, okay. Well, we're talking. Your spirit's really talking on your piles. Okay. I think we have 3 cards, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and look at all of them. So we have wide open. We have unexpected visitors. And then we have spark. Okay, I love that. I love that. Okay. Of course, the car alarm decides to go off now. I'm going to give it a second. Okay, sorry about that. I paused the video because that car alarm was going off forever and it was obnoxious. So anyway, it's done now, hopefully. Again, we have for you wide open, unexpected visitors, and spark. Wide open and spark, I feel like is you. I feel like, again, I don't know if this full moon in Cancer was really important for you, but I think it was a really important time for all of us to kind of just let things go emotionally, especially if you're somebody that is in touch with your emotions, which I think that you are. I think you're in touch with your emotions. You may just have a hard time of, you know, controlling them, not controlling, but like understanding them and letting them be there all of the time. And anyway, I think that whatever it was that you let go of, whatever it is that you confronted and faced within your own personal self, like your own personal life, I feel like maybe even before that or right after, there was a spark for you. And it was like, that's what I want. And you maybe saw somebody else living a certain way or doing things a certain way, or I don't know, you just like had this spark of inspiration to make a change, to do things differently, to walk a different path. And I really do feel like you guys at this point are living your lives wide open, or you're going to be living your lives wide open, where again, you are so vulnerable and authentically you in the most beautiful way. Because again, you know, I don't think that you're going to let anybody take advantage of you. I don't think that you're going to let anybody, you know, make you feel some type of way. It's literally like you're finally just like, this is me, world. This is who I am. This is what I want. And if you don't accept me, that's fine. If you don't love me, that's fine. But I love me. I accept me. I enjoy me. And if you don't, you can go. Like, I don't need that anymore. I don't need, you know, people in my life who are not authentic. I don't need people in my life that don't care and love for me. I don't need things in my life that don't serve me, don't make me happy, don't make me feel inspired. And yeah, I just really feel like that's the case for you guys. It's interesting because with unexpected visitors coming out, I feel like this is Spirit's way of saying, again, to not allow your subconscious mind to impair like what you're trying to do, to stop you from what you're trying to do. And again, like we had talked about in the first half of this reading as well, you know, how important I feel like it is for you guys to be able to check your emotions, use logical practicality, you know, things like that, because these unexpected visitors will come up. I've worked a lot through like my own impulsiveness and like wanting to do things that give me instant gratification. I've worked through a lot of that, but it still comes up every once in a while. Like with the story that I told you guys about me potentially wanting to buy like a new French bulldog, right? That impulsiveness comes up. It's like, can you check it? Can you sit there and say, you know, as great as that would be, as cool as that would be, and like if this were a different time, I may be impulsive, like, and I may have gone for it, but I'm just not in a place financially where I can do that, where I feel comfortable doing that, and just leaving it there, right? So again, it's going to be so important for you guys to be able to understand how you're feeling emotionally, you know, and not allow your recklessness, your passion, your fire to like overpower everything, right? Don't allow it to burn everything down. It's okay to have that fire and that passion and to protect it, because you should, because it's a beautiful thing to have. But we also need to keep it contained, right? Because we don't need this fire from this flame spreading all throughout the house and destroying it, right? So that's really like what I'm seeing for you guys here, okay? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave your reading here, my group number 3s. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading, that it was helpful for you, that it resonated for you. If it did, please leave me a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up so that it can reach as many other people as possible that may need to hear today's message. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put out new pick a card readings, new tarot readings once a week. I love you guys so much, and I really see so much beauty ahead for you guys. And, you know, I think that you're just gonna really put your mark on the world, and I think that's really, really amazing. So, hoping all the best for you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you in my reading next week. Thank you. Bye.